And what's up, folks? Welcome to another video. DarkNsaw here. We are going to do something a little bit different today. I know that things are now available. 40 series graphics cards are available, overpriced as they may be, they are available. 30 series are where you want to be right now if you're trying to get it going. And I do mean that because the prices are not that bad, if I'm not mistaken, because it gets a 3080 10 gig, $700. $700? I had to buy like a 2200 PC pre-built to even get one of these. Long story short, if you are getting into VR right now, so we're gonna do the Reverb G2 and $449. I saw someone today got one for $380. Come on now, $449. You cannot pass this up. This is from HP right here. The sale is busting, and for anyone that's trying to really get into VR, you know what this means? Wait. Just wait is what this means. The new Reverb, the G3 or whatever they're going to call it, is coming. If you start seeing the sales hit for no reason, there's no reason. It's February, end of January. Nothing's really going on right now. If you've been paying attention to the VR space, the small form factor stuff's coming. The Index 2 is probably on its way in the next like 5 to 6 months. If you can find a cheap one or one for sale for like used $200, you better swoop that up, because you can have a second rig at your house and get that going. But that is the basis and the start of what we're going to be talking about this video, which is, as you know, I have been doing VR videos for, I don't know, a very long time, but I haven't made an updated one for 2023. I don't even think I really made any dedicated ones for 2022. Maybe I did, but you know, whatever. Here we are today. And one of the things that you are going to need, I'll go ahead and list these, is going to be your mixed reality portal. You're going to need that. Let's say you just got your headset today and you're just like, hey, I'm not getting great, results. What do I need to do? Okay, well, mixed reality portal is going to be the first thing you're going to need to download. Steam VR, download that as well. Some people use OpenXR. I don't mess with that. That's a different video for someone else. I'm sorry, but like, everything has been working fine for me in Steam and in Steam VR, so I don't have anything to complain about. But let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that we're gonna do that a lot of people forget about is just to right click on their background and go to your NVIDIA control panel. I'm running an RTX 4090, I'm running a 13900k, and I've got 32 gigs of DDR5 6600. Probably overspent at the time, but I'm not complaining. I've been having a great time, and everything is for the most part maxed, but I'm also not going to be upgrading for like the next 5 years. So don't look here. Don't look in this space for like new hardware and software coming up. You're not going to see it. This is what I'm working with. Kids are getting older. I don't have nothing else to say about that. You understand. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and we've got our image and previews here. You got to go ahead and slide this bar to performance all the way over. First thing you do, performance mode. Don't even worry about no quality or some balance. F all that. Performance. The next thing we're going to do here is go to your 3D settings. Okay, so image sharpening. I mean, you don't really need this at all. All of this, it depends on your system, but we're talking about the 4090, we're talking about 13900k. Please adjust to your own hardware, because I can't, it's different for other people. I turn all this crap off, all of it. If it's on at all, turn it off. Background application, max frame rate, turn it off. You don't need it. All my GPUs, low latency mode on ultra, max frame rate off, and you'll see why later. G-Sync compatible. Multi-frames off, OpenGL CDI, rendering GPU. This is the one. Power management mode, max performance. That's what we're doing. Refresh rate, Odyssey G8, highest available. That's just for my screen when I'm playing things on screen. And then I'll leave a lot of this stuff on because I do play games on screen. With triple buffering, off, don't need it. Vertical sync, off, don't need it. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames, they will say to leave that on, as is suggested via iRacing, so I just go ahead and do that. But this is the stuff right here that needs to be set. This is just for your 3D settings in your NVIDIA card. And then you can go to headset. Where are we at? Headset display settings. Level of detail, quality, effects, and mixed reality home. This doesn't really matter because I don't ever go to the mixed reality home. Chain app resolution window. That's also for home stuff. But here, experience optimized for performance. Resolution, now this is for my screen, okay? This is for my screen, but best quality. And then frame rate is going to be 90 because that's the max that the headset does. But if you have like the index or something like that, then 120 and then I guess it goes up to 130 would also be available. I will say, if you're about to get this headset, take out your cell phone, get the IPD app. And that will actually like measure your eye pupil distance and let you know what you are. I'm actually at 69, so for this, or 68.7, wear glasses, obviously, and I have the VR optician lenses in there. So there are 2 different faceplates that the Reverb G2 were released with. The old version, which would be this guy right here, or the new version, which is this guy right here, actually puts your eyeballs closer to the lenses, giving you that wider field of view. Well, as a glasses wearer, wider field of view doesn't really do anything to me because my glasses cut all this peripheral vision out. I can still see, obviously, but at the same time, it's not clear, and it would never really be clear because it's peripherals. The original that came with the OG Reverb G2, probably getting about 113 degrees instead of that 114 degrees. You should be looking up the road anyway, folks. When you're coming onto an apex, turn your head, look around that corner, catch that apex. I can't see everything happening right here. You don't need to. In a helmet, you'd be up the road. Excuse me, the new one with the very, very thin, and then the old, as you can see the differences here at the top with the way these magnets are positioned. One is longer than the other one. IPD adjustments are definitely something that you would look into, because if you're like a 70, then you may just need to look into a different headset. I would just suggest looking into a different headset. The Samsung Odyssey Plus, that bad boy went to like 69 point something, and it was just wonderful. But anywho, moving forward, make sure all this is set. And of course, one thing that I would always do, I'm going to tell you right now, clear environmental data captured by your Windows Media headset. After you've set up the first time, if you move a light from the left side of the room to the right side of the room, if you decide to move a picture off the wall, you repaint the walls. You're going to want to reset this, or the cameras, and this is with any WMD headset, or really the Oculus as well, if it doesn't have the lighthouse. They're snapping a photo of your surroundings. That's what's going on. They're snapping a photo of surroundings, and with that photo surrounding, they're actually, that's how it's tracking everything that's happening. So, clear environmental data. We'll go into the mixed reality portal, set up your room boundary. We're going to be in a seated position. And yes, I'm sure. Thank you for asking. And then we just take this. I always want to grab it at the top, because if you grab it from the side, this hand's going to be blocking that camera, and it's not going to be able to snap your surroundings for that. So you're going to go ahead and grab it at the top. Get your center button in. Go ahead and put your head, because this is where you're going to be driving from. And then you just click center. Boom. You're right back centered. When I get back into the vehicle, it will remember what I set it at in iRacing. And then that is what's going to put the steering wheel, in theory, directly where my steering wheel is here. You've centered your headset. You're in the car, and something goes wrong, and all of a sudden, the seat's over here, it's looking over there. You don't know, how do I recenter this? What's going on? Well, you're going to need to go ahead and adjust one of the buttons on your wheel and map that as a center VR, a VR recenter button, which I usually use the funky stick. If there's a funky stick on your steering wheel, the click press is a great one, because you would rarely hit that by accident during a race. All right, so things that I would be using during iRacing, obviously True Drive, because I do have a Semi Cube 2 Sport, and I would also use Crew Chief, and Crew Chief is my spotter. Best spotter in the world. It's got funny sayings and things.
Radio check.
Spotter, radio check.
That's right there. And Claire, that's who's giving my spotter action. Trading paints, another keeper. You absolutely have to have this, and of course we're going to get into the VR portions of this. However, as you see, iRacing is still updating, so I'm just going to use this time to do both. We've got our starting trading paints on startup. This is where I get all my liveries from, and when you get one made, then they send you a file, and then that's how you get your livery. So Major's Garage. This is where I get my setups for open races. I think it's like $9 a month, which is less than a 6-pack of beer, 2 Starbucks coffees, and you gave them a tip. That's what you'd be spending. That's for the entire month, and I'm doing the road, and then you get your member downloads, and then boom, this is every car for the entire week, and you just download it, boom, you got it, you're good to go. So definitely check out Major's Garage. They didn't pay me any money for this. I've been using them. They're stateside, and I've been using them for like over a year. I've tried all the other ones. I've tried them all, but this is what I've come to love, and I appreciate how they do their open wheel stuff too, which for me is important. So here we are. We are at iRacing, and whenever you're first hopping in, just go to Go Racing. I always star all of my things that I like doing: Porsche Open, Porsche Close, the Radicals, the GR86, and then my Formula 3s. Absolutely love them. Now again, 13900k, 4090. Also, if you look at my previous videos, I've got a 10900k and a 3080 setup video, and then I've got these are all for the Reverb G2 as well. The other video is for my 8700k and also the 1080 Ti. Now, you'll see GeForce Experience popping up here. I use that for my screenshots, but during racing, or I also use it for my replays. But if to record my replays rather. But if you don't want it open, just go to GeForce Experience. Go over here to your settings tab, and then just scroll down to in-game overlay. Turn that off, and now it's off. And it's not taking any of your resources, because when it's open, you may have OBS open too, and it's taking resources. So keep that in mind. Now here's something important that I wanted to make sure we get out here. Steam VR. This is what I use. I have always used it, except for when I had the Rift. These are my settings. Refresh rate is at 90. Motion smoothing off. You don't need it, folks. Like, you do not need it. When the running application cannot keep up. The application can keep up all the time. Generally speaking, it's your PC or your CPU that can't keep up. So no, it's fine. 100%. You don't need to go over this. It's not going to give you anything extra at all. It's just not. Because the headset's not capable of doing it. These are the main settings here. I'm not actually doing anything extra or special here. These are just how I've got it going. Audio output device, headset. Here is what we're gonna do, folks. Here we are in the graphics settings. You've got high on everything, and this is again just based on the 13900k more than the 4090. I would damn near guarantee it. I'd bet you money, because this is an older game, 2008, and it has not been updated since then, really. So you're gonna need high CPU counts in order to get your 90 there, or you're gonna have to turn stuff down. You might not need the sky clouds at high detail. You might not. I ran it at medium or low for many years. Event, definitely put that on medium if you're needing frames. Medium for the event. Crowd stands, keep those on high. Put the crowds on low or off, and that'll just put a couple people in the stands. It worked out well for me when I didn't have that powerful of or my system was pretty good, but it wasn't enough. But it was COVID, so no one's in the crowds. High detail particles, full resolution, and soft. That is going to eat up a whole lot, but it might be worth it to you. Possibly by turning these 30 cars down to like 20, and then do just like world plus minus only. And then I don't want my cars changing resolutions on the screen, so I keep those at plus only. Video memory swap high resolution cars. Honestly, I don't need this anymore, but I'm just so used to having it on there. If there's any way I can just like gain a little bit performance somewhere, I'm going to do it even though it's not really necessary. AA samples, I usually have this at 2x until I moved up to the 13900k. Always had this at 16. Dynamic objects, you don't need it or night shadow maps do not need it if you're not running that high of a system yet. And I say yet because I told you these prices are going to be dropping. Speed tree self-shadowing, that's on. I can turn these on, but there's no reason and there's no difference because you're moving too fast to actually see it. Higher detail in mirrors, yes, because I want to see the cars in the background looking spicy and not kind of cloudy, similar to ACC. Like I say, man, I had ACC for a while since beta. I just can't. I can't. So sharpening, yes. HDR, yes. Limit 91 for the headset. That way it can go, and just hit 90. If you do it at 90, it usually hangs out around 89. 30 cars on track is generally what we're running. I didn't change any of this. Resolution 400 to 220. This is like just what iRacing says it is, and then it gives you, for the most part, what you're seeing on track. If you're starting to see like words and stuff cloud, that means you need to add more GPU memory usage to it. And since there's 24 gigs of GPU usage in a 4090, I'm not really worried about it. It could use all of it if it wants to, but it doesn't ask for more at this point, so I'm not mad about it. And max system use, only have 32 gigabytes, so I don't have this all the way filled up. But once I do upgrade it and get that 64 gigabytes in here popping with the two cards, 32 and 32, best believe that will also be to the maximum. Make sure you're setting all this stuff up. Pit speed limiter, of course. If you want to be really immersive, get your starter in there. Brake bias set, of course, because in fixed races, all you can change is your brake bias. So, be ready to be able, to wheel and deal with that as needed. And then, of course, the most important one is the recenter HMD. Recenter, what does that mean? Oh no, what happened? I'm in the race, and now it's over here instead of right in front of me. I'm having to drive like this. I don't get it. Oh wait, I have a button for that. Boom, you've recentered it. Now, understand, this is different than what we did in the Windows Media Headset app, because that is default across all your apps everywhere. This button resets it in this game only. So in the sim only, and that's where you're going to be. So once you've sat down and you put this on your face, it already remembers what that's going to be, where that's going to be from the other. But then you hit that, boom, you're right back. But you're going to need this to actually line your wheel up with the virtual wheel, because that is how you get into the car, and you're in the car perfect every time. You want to be able to flip your eyes up and see your wheel, and then flip it down, and hey, look, there's a virtual wheel in my virtual hands where they would be. Simple. I don't own any AMD stuff, like I said, but if anyone has questions, just about setting up the game, things like that, it's pretty much the same across the board. Let's see if there's anything else I'm forgetting. I don't think there is. I know people had questions about Race Labs, but to be honest, when it comes to Race Labs, I don't actually mess with it inside or in VR. I can't see any of that. What you see on the screen is straight up me. Anything that's in that brown, that's all I see. I see my gears, and I see my relative, so I can see how far close someone is behind me. If I go off, how much space do I have? Always leave your relatives on, folks, so you don't rejoin unsafely and kill somebody. And my time, and my split time, to find out how fast my laps are going, which is generally on the dash or somewhere in the vehicle for you to see. But I like to be able to look in the same place every time and know that it's there. Other than that, though, that's how it's rolling. If you have any questions, definitely shoot them to me in the comments. I'm not doing any overvolting or undervolting or overclocking. Nothing like that is happening on this system. I would actually direct you to Accuracy Gaming. He's gotten into a lot of overclocking and undervolting stuff, and he definitely probably help you out on that. I think that's pretty much it, folks. I don't really have much more to give, but I definitely thank you for tuning in. If you have any more VR questions, definitely shoot them my way. Catch me this week, probably on Friday. I'll be doing these races, and if you want me to go ahead and make some sort of like community race let me know. Facebook killed my DarkNsaw page, so I have no access to it, and that was my community. But hey, I'm going to use this for now, and we will get the rest of it going as it rolls. Maybe I'll work on a Discord or something like that. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in the next rip. DarkNsaw out. Peace.